So our next speaker is Benjamin Baque, who will be speaking about pawpaws in France and Europe. You can use this mic, or if you like to walk around, you can use that mic.
Yeah.
And
So it will work.
the big button advances the slides.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Is better? Yeah. So good morning, everyone. I am Benjamin Baque, and I come from France. I'm going to try to give you an idea what's happening with pawpaw in Europe and in France. About myself, fruit trees are a hobby for many years. I grow pretty much everything that I could grow in south of France, and if it was not like avocado and bananas. I'm also an author of a pawpaw book in French, and I've been helping some other grower in France to develop their orchards. So we'll pass on that. So pawpaw was introduced in Europe at the end of the 19th century for agronomic research. At that time, the explorer used to brought a lot of plant material from America and as well from the rest of the world to try to cultivate them in our European climates. But pawpaw, contrary to some others, just stay in private collection in botanical garden for a long time. There is today two cultivars that are popular in Europe, and they were selected in Europe. So you have Prima that was selected out of 800 seeds in Italy. The seeds came from Corvin Davis in Michigan. It's in that most of the seeds sent from Michigan were from the sunflower cultivar. Prima was released in 2007. He has a low seed ratio that you can compare to Susquehanna from Neil Peterson. And he's self-fertile. That's why he's one of the most popular ones. There's also Georgia. That's was found in Italy on the garden of an ambassador. It produces a good sized fruit with a good seed ratio, and it tastes delicious, that one. The other one too, but you know. Nursery in Europe, well, at least in France, they sell a lot of fertile varieties, and they're more successful for a couple of reasons. First, pawpaw are expensive trees, and people prefer to invest just in a single tree of something they never tasted before. And our winter is very mild, so we can grow pretty much any kind of fruits. We can have peach, we can have apricot, stuff like that. And people prefer to plant one pawpaw and plant some other trees, other kind of fruit trees if they're into that. So where to grow pawpaw in Europe? So those maps give you an idea of the challenge you may have to grow pawpaw in France and in Europe. What you see in blue are the colder part and winter part of the country. So you have to favor early cultivar in those regions. What you see in orange, that's altitudes, so it's more mountain and high place. So you need a good exposition on those one and early cultivar too. Sometimes, if it's too high, it doesn't work, of course. And what you see in red, that's the hot area is very dry there. There's not much humidity in the air, and it's difficult for pawpaw to work well there. For the Europe map, what you see in green is where you should be able to be successful with pawpaw, to be able to have fruits. But for the northern part, some people does it there, but they use often a greenhouse to help to have more heat and to prolong the season, to have the fruit that mature. So this map is the map of the licensed nursery from the Neil Peterson website. We have many other unlisted nursery in Europe that just propose lemon, KSU, and the classic varieties. Small nursery usually produce a couple hundred trees a year, and some of the major, they produce between 500 to a few thousand plants each year. The estimated sale market in France is currently about 10,000 trees, and price range for people buying in nursery usually go from 40 to 70 euros. And for the nursery that produce for other nursery that are going to sell the plants, that sell usually between around 25 euros, the grafted plants. Okay. So how they grow pawpaw? So most of them produce pawpaw in a high pot with an intact taproot. So that's pretty much all the markets. They can use sometimes a less high pot and they clip the taproots. Just one nursery does that. It's in Holland. Those plants, from my experience, have more root mass in the pots, and they thrive better after planting. I don't know if they're better with age. After 10 or 15 years, I have no idea. And before, it was some nursery that tried to do bare roots trees. Nobody proposed that anymore. We have clay soil a lot. We have cold, well, not cold, but humid winter. And if you injure the roots, it is problematic. And there's a low success rate for bare root trees, at least in our soil. So we're going to see some example of commercial orchards there is in Europe. So this one is a commercial orchard located in Italy. They have over 1,000 trees. It's mostly prima and sunflowers. They use tubex to protect the trunks, and they have a fruit tree net on top to provide some shade and also to increase the humidity. You guys here have a summer that usually humid in the air. We don't have that. It's more dry. At my place, it could go lower than 20%. So they use that net to as well protect from the sun and increase the humidity, and that way the pawpaw is more happy. So if you guys are from the southern states, it could be something you could try to put a net to protect as well from the sunburns, but also to increase the humidity for the trees. Something interesting in that on that commercial orchard is you have drip irrigation. So you have the tube high, so you have drip irrigation on each side of the trunk. So that way you can visually, when you walk in the orchard, you can see the drip irrigation working. So it's easy to control. And between each tree, they have those things. That's a spray, and that way they spray the grass. And same thing, that way the tree are better. At my place, I have a spot where it's not very deep, so the root does like that. It hit the bottom, it went back up, and then it turned on the topsoil. And it stayed on the topsoil. I dig one like that was 3 meters long. So what was 3 meters? 9 feet long. And what happened this summer, we had a lot of droughts, and it was very dry. I just watered with drip irrigation every day, every single tree. But because this taproot was exposed to extreme heat and extreme dryness, I have 2 trees like that die when they had like 10 liters a day of water. So it's really important the taproots being humid. If it doesn't go in the soil, you have to spray water on the surface to protect it. So they're in production for about 5 years, both one. This is another example of a commercial orchard. This one is based in southwest of France. So we have the chance to have after a presentation from his owner, so I will pass. This is another commercial orchard. It's located in center of France. So it's 300 trees, mostly Atwood, Peterson, lemon. Is in production for about 5 years. There's not much here. There's no tree protection because there's not much sun. There's no problem with wildlife coming to eat the bark, so there's no protection. He has drip irrigation on the grounds. And there's all those orchards, they don't have grass control usually because they produce organically. Because it's easy for us to produce that organically when apple and some other fruits is more difficult. So people that want to produce organically like to do pawpaw. Another commercial orchard, this one have 100 trees, mostly Cashew Atwood, Peterson, and it is in production for 2 years. So this guy sell fruits and veggies locally. So people come to his farm, and every week he sell his production wherever it is. So we have a little of everything. So he used 2 bags to protect from the wildlife, and he have drip irrigation on the grounds. So this is a map of some known pawpaw orchard in France and in Europe. So you can see in green on France the professional orchards. You can see in blue some of the major pawpaw enthusiast people orchards. Some of them could go from 5 to 100 trees for enthusiast people. For professional, the maximum I know is 2,500 trees in France. And you have as well other commercial orchards in Romania, Croatia, Slovenia, Italy, Czechia, and Germany. So how do they market pawpaw? So that's a small producer selling pawpaw at the farmer market with the other products he does. So at that farmer market, it's about $5 a pound. That's pawpaw from sold at health food chain store all over the country. So you go there, they don't have the pawpaw, but you ask them, can I have pawpaw? And they go in to order 6 pounds of pawpaw. They're going to call you when it's ready, and you're going to leave the store with you 6 pounds of pawpaw. That's the way they found to do shorts, to don't have the pawpaw to be too long between picking up and being sold, so they do on demand. And that's another producer. He does express shipping, so shipping costs are not expensive because it's a small country. So he's able to sell 5 pounds of pawpaw for about $50 in express shipping. So what they do with the fruits, so some do some jam, they do of course some ice cream, and they do some pastry. So here's macaron, and they do some liquor too. So this image is from southeast of France in an area that was red on the previous map. They encounter intensive drought for around 10 years. Rain is not regular at all, and there's very low humidity in the air. And pawpaw, they looks like that. So that's a 10 years old tree. That's lower than the man. It produces well. The fruits are often burned, but you see the pawpaw is not happy. They need more humidity, even if they have drip irrigation every day is not sufficient. So this chart is the number of drought per year in France. So during the 80s, we used to have one drought every 5 years. Before the 80s, sorry. During the 80s and 90s, it was almost a drought average every year. But during the past 10 years, we had almost an average of 2 heat waves a year. So for this year, we had 2 heat waves. The temperature were between 95 Fahrenheit and 108 Fahrenheit for a duration of 9 and 10 days. And we lost a lot of trees, even the native trees. There's places where the forest, you have like 50% of the oak tree that are dead because we didn't have rain. And because of this heat wave, they're so long and so hot that our vegetation is not meant for it. So that is going to be a challenge in my region for pawpaw because they like humidity, and that is not the case. So to get on a lighter subject, let's talk about pests. You can learn a lot at the Ohio Pawpaw Festival about the pests eating our pawpaw with just looking at the logo. In Europe, pawpaw are pretty much pest-free. So no zebra swallowtail, bird fly laying eggs in the peduncle of the fruits. I'm going to take where it is. Yeah. No raccoon climbing up the tree at night and breaking up branches. But most of all, no Bigfoot stinging off our fruits. If someone have a story about that, hairy or not, I'm not going to be picky. Please tell us during the question answer. But more seriously, there's no much problem with pests. At my place, I only have 2 that will just look like this. So we have the snail in the spring that are a problem for the leaves. And we have hens at harvest time. They come and eat the fruit before they're ripe. So for the conclusion, pawpaw is starting to be well known with advanced gardener. Many nurseries are proposing good quality plants. Most of the advanced cultivars are now available. Mature commercial orchard product and fruits are at their beginning, and marketing pawpaw is definitely the biggest challenge for large-scale commercial orchards. I would like to thank you, Vos company. They're a nursery and plant grower in France. They helped me with some of the picture and talk to build this presentation. And thank you for listening to this presentation.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do again. Sorry, I know there's a lot of hands. Let's do one question while the next person makes their way up and we get the presentation queued up. And I'm sure Benjamin will be around to answer any others.
I saw that you had a lot of no grass control. Are your growers considering using livestock for grass control? One of the gentlemen here spoke about sheep not eating the pawpaw trees.
I haven't seen anyone doing it. They mow the lawn. They just do that, and just no grass control, because they're all organic. So it's the easier way. They prefer to have less fruits, and to be able to sell them organic.
Thanks very much.